Welcome back to WYMT Election Headquarters. Steve Hensley and Neil Middleton. We're going to check in with our Washington Bureau Chief, Jacqueline Policastro. We're pleased to work with our Gray Washington Bureau to bring you the best election coverage along with CBS News. And we have teams at both the Clinton and Trump campaigns, and we're going to check in with both of them. First, Jacqueline Policastro at Hillary Clinton's campaign.
There is so much excitement here tonight. The crowd cheering loudly every time a new state is announced. Hillary Clinton winning New York and the big electoral prize that goes with it. We are, of course, here in Manhattan at the Javits Center. This is where Hillary Clinton will give a speech tonight, and we're literally standing underneath of a glass ceiling. There are a few other states, battleground states, with polls closing this hour, Colorado and Wisconsin. Covering Hillary Clinton in New York, I'm Jacqueline Policastro.
All right, as Jacqueline mentioned, still waiting on a lot of states that are still too close to call right now. I have a feeling it's going to be a very long night before the presidential race is called.
Well, I think so. Those battleground states are just, I mean, every time we look at it, they're going back and forth, and now it's 10 o'clock and they still haven't been able to call any.
The last time we talked with Mike Duncan, he mentioned 3 states, Ohio, North Carolina, and Florida. None of those states have been called yet, but all 3 are leaning Donald Trump right now. All 3
are leaning Donald Trump. What you would like now in Florida, you've got 93% of the vote in Florida, and Trump is leading 49% to 47%. You'd like to know where that last 7%, what those precincts are in, because that's really going to determine how that state goes, is where those last voting precincts are that are still remaining out.
And just literally as I was sitting here, Virginia, another state we've been watching closely, flipped from leaning Trump to leaning Clinton. Of course, that's where Tim Kaine is from. That may be the closest race right now state-wise that we're watching, but almost all of the battleground states are literally too close to call. Now, in Pennsylvania, Hillary Clinton does have a decent lead, but the rest, I mean, this is going to be a long night.
Well, you mentioned Virginia, and they both have 47% of the vote with 92% of the precincts. So it's leaning Clinton now, and no one would really be surprised at that because of Tim Kaine. But it's still too close to say that she's going to win that one.
Let's check in with our Washington correspondent Ted Fioraliso at the Trump campaign.
Polls closing in a slew of states across the country, including New York. That is where both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton call home. But it is a solid blue state and in the bag for Clinton. But Trump supporters here are looking very closely at Florida. That is home to 29 electoral votes. It's where Donald Trump calls his second home. He has a luxury resort there called Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach. The crowd here is getting a little noisier, a little more crowded, and they're strapping in for an interesting ride tonight. Reporting from Trump headquarters, I'm Ted Fioraliso.
All right, and Ted and Jacqueline are going to have a long night there, as we mentioned a little earlier in 2012, 4 years ago, the presidential race was called during the 11 o'clock news. We had to toss it back to CBS to make the call. I think it's going to be...
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, it's going to be probably midnight or later. So let's go back to CBS News for the very latest on the presidential race. We will come back with another local update coming up at 10:25.